Hey, howdy folks, Rampage here, and we're going to take a look at SummerSlam for 2016. Hey, howdy folks, so SummerSlam, hell of a card, long card. It's now about 8:30 Pacific time. I think the show ended around 8. And I think we started watching at like 3:30 or so maybe 2:30. It was pretty ridiculous. It shows are a lot earlier than I thought it was. I think it started at 4 o'clock and it had a 90-minute pre-show, so that, but yeah, about 2:30. So yeah, something like 6 hours of wrestling. That was a lot. So we're going to run down what happened on the card, and we are going to take it match by match. The first match we had to start the night off was the Usos, American Alpha, and the Hype Bros taking on the Vaudevillains, the Ascension, and Breezango. This was pretty much what you'd expect from a big multi-person 12-man tag match. I enjoyed it. Lots of good tag work. We had a great sequence at the end where it's once again everyone trading finishers. In the end, American Alpha does hit Grand Amplitude, but one of the Usos tags himself in and follows it up with a splash and gets the pinfall. I like it. It gives the Usos a little bit of an edge while establishing that American Alpha are still like basically the top of the food chain for tag teams right now. From there, we have Neville and Sami Zayn taking on the Dudley Boys. And this is one of those matches where I just wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. So, we know the Dudleys have been having their issues. They've lost their last 2 matches due to confusion, where usually something happens and Devon and Dudley collide, one of them gets knocked out of the ring. That essentially is what happens tonight. Devon's knocked out. Bubba Ray's left in the ring, takes a haluva kick followed by the red arrow, and Sami Zayn and Neville get the win. Pretty rad there. I like Neville and Zayn getting the win. I like them more as singles competitors than as a tag team, but if that's what it takes to get them on the SummerSlam card when we've got both rosters now competing for TV space, I'm fine with that. I just hope after this they sort of go their own way. Dudleys, I'm not quite sure what's going on at this point. I'm assuming, well, I thought initially they were using Dudleys to elevate new talent, but they're just repeatedly losing at this point. So my suspicion would be they're going to break up Devon and Bubba Ray at this point. Maybe we'll see more of a Bully Ray type character from Bubba that we've seen before in TNA. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe we'll get Velvet Sky as well. They'd make a cool tandem. We'll have to see. Our third pre-show match was Sheamus taking on Cesaro. This is the first of their best of 7 matches. In the end, Sheamus does get the win after a pretty brutal back-and-forth match. He gets the win with a thumb to the eye, followed by throwing Cesaro's shoulder first into the ring post and hitting the Brogue Kick. So not a clean win, but he does have that momentum going on. We all know this is going to go to 7, and then we'll have our winner will be decided at that last match. From there, we have Enzo and Cass taking on Jericho and Owens. Jerry KO, I think was what we're calling him. Or Jericho, yeah. I thought this was a fun match. It's a lot of Enzo in peril, as most of the Enzo and Big Cass matches tend to be. However, for everyone expecting Enzo and Cass to go over in their hometown, except as Corey Graves points out, Enzo's from Jersey, they're in New York, so it's close, but not quite the same thing. In the end, Jericho and Owens get the win with a sort of pop-up code breaker. So Owens basically takes the opponent, throws him up over his head, and Jericho catches them with the code breaker. Cool match. I enjoyed it. I just wish the other guys won. That's going to be a theme a lot for this night. A lot of these matches, who I was pulling for, didn't actually wind up winning. We have Charlotte taking on Sasha Banks for the women's title next. This match was really good. It started off really scary. Charlotte looked like she was hitting like a sidewalk slam off the top rope, but she looks like she lost her grip, and Sasha felt like she hit her neck and her back on the top ropes, and then like landed head first. Scary spot. Like, they got it back together and put on a hell of a match after that, but Jesus, that was brutal. Amazing back and forth match, all sorts of great spots. In the And we have Sasha Banks Sasha Banks gets rolled up while she's got the bake steak wrapped on Charlotte. And Charlotte gets the 3 count and is now 2 times champion. Your first ever 2 times women's champion in the new era. From there, we have The Miz defending his Intercontinental title against Apollo Crews. Miz comes out with sort of the crazy half-face mask, looking like something out of Phantom of the Opera. Pretty interesting there. Back and forth match. Once again, it's sort of speed versus power, except for that Apollo Crews sort of has both. But it was him sort of overpowering and showing off a lot to The Miz. Well, not showing off, just like doing more high-risk moves, I guess. In the end, Miz does catch him off a distraction and hits the skull-crushing finale and gets the 3 count, and Miz does retain his title. I really thought that was going to go to Apollo. I thought that was sort of going to be the, hey, we're going to put the title on someone on the new generation and sort of elevate them. But we've still got Miz standing strong with that. From there, we go to AJ Styles taking on John Cena in what is the match of the night. Absolutely crazy match. Like, anything you could think of, these guys throw at each other. In the end, Cena has him up in the Attitude Adjustment. It hits it off the second rope, calling it a Super AA or an Avalanche AA, depending on who you're talking to. Whatever it is, it was amazing. And Styles kicks out. And the look on Cena's face for that was absolutely amazing. Like, you have that moment where Cena's just like, I can't beat him. I just can't do it. Continues going back and forth. They've both kicked out of each other's finishers at this point. The recurring theme tonight are finishers don't finish matches. But we keep going. Eventually, Styles does hit the Styles Clash, but he's out of position to make the cover. Follows it up with a phenomenal forearm. Gets the 3 count. And it's amazing. He picks up the clean pinfall this time over John Cena. He celebrates and leaves. Cena's left sitting in the ring. Looks at the armband, the Never Give Up armband. Takes it off. Sort of stares at it puts it in the ring, and then walks away. It's strange, like, that looked like a retirement-style moment there, so I don't know what's going on with that. We'll have to tune into SmackDown this week and find out, but we'll see what happens there. Up next, we have Gallows and Anderson taking on the New Day. Jon Stewart comes out first because he's the honorary member of the New Day because Big E's hurt, and he actually starts doing the intro for them, not so well, but the crowd picks it up and he lets them do it for him. This is a good match. I enjoyed it a lot. It's great to see Xavier Woods actually showcased more as a wrestler than a manager, because he can go in the ring. It's amazing to watch. In the end, Gallows and Anderson set up for the Magic Killer, but Jon Stewart gets in there and does the whole whoa, 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 hang on. Like, easy boys. Sort of backs them off, then they basically look like they're going to take out Jon Stewart. He tuck his shirt in first. They drag him off towards the turnbuckle, towards the corner. Except Big E makes his triumphant return. He rescues Jon Stewart, but in attacking Gallows and Anderson, then Gallows and Anderson win by DQ. However, the tag titles do not change hands in case of disqualification. Therefore, your tag team champions are the New Day. That was a fun bit there. Post-match, Big E does open up the jar that says Big E that has 2 eggs in it, looking like some formaldehyde, takes a swig, and sort of does a Triple H spit. Weird, but when is the New Day not weird? From there, we have Ambrose taking on Dolph Ziggler for the WWE World Championship. This was a great match. It was an intense back-and-forth match. I really enjoyed it. The problem was they were following up Cena Styles. Any other night, this would have been like match of the night easily. Unfortunately, the crowd at this point is exhausted after watching Styles and Cena. So it didn't get the crowd hype it needed, and I think everyone else watching it was even tired at that point. I thought it was a great match. In the end, there's basically a setup for what looked like a superplex of some sort, and they both sort of hop off the top turnbuckle, but Ambrose lands and they hit Dirty Deeds and gets the pinfall there. I was really hoping we'd see Ziggler win, but Ambrose does retain, and he is still your WWE champion. We'll see what comes from that. Up next, we have the Six Diva match, or women's match, sorry, with Carmella, Naomi, and Becky Lynch taking on Natalya, Alexa Bliss. It's supposed to be Eva Marie. And they do her entire entrance, even though we all know that she's not there. And it basically says, due to stress of fan reactions, she's now on a doctor-prescribed vacation, and she'll eventually be back. And then her replacement comes out is Nikki Bella. I thought this was a fun match. I thought everyone got their moment to shine. Carmella got her moves in. Naomi got to show off her new outfit, her attire. She got her super kicks in. Even Becky Lynch got her entire sequence in with the exploder suplexes in the corner, stacked all three of them up, and hit a series of kicks to knock them all out. Really cool there. Natalya got her spots, Alexa Bliss got her spots in. Nikki Bella does take the pinfall with a TKO as a new finisher. Yeah, since you have neck damage, I guess we really don't want you doing the rack attack anymore. Probably a good idea. Then we head on to our next match. We have Finn Balor taking on Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship, crowning the first champion. The belt looks a lot like the WWE title, except for it's got the gold with the WWE logo in it in the swoosh, but the swoosh is black and the leather is red. It's going to take some getting used to. I'm not a super fan of the belt design, but I'm willing to let it grow on me right now. I don't think it's as bad as the fruit roll-up title that some people are calling it on Twitter, but that's just me. This was a crazy match. This was everything you expected out of the two of these guys. Moves, counter moves, high-flying action. You've got Finn flying, you've got Rollins flying, we saw the Phoenix Splash, we saw the coup de grace, we saw Finn's, whatever he calls the crazy sort of brainbuster he's doing that's almost like a reverse DDT. It's some sort of date that's significant to Irish history that I can never remember. But in the end, Finn Balor does take it. It's actually a series of shotgun drop kicks. He hits the coup de grace. Seth Rollins kicks out. Rollins goes for a few other moves. He blocks a couple things. Then Finn hits a standing coup de grace. Basically, you've got them, like, Seth gets, like, flipped on the ground, hits that, pops back up, hits the shotgun dropkick into the corner one more time. Rollins rolls out, Finn hits the coup de grace one last time, and does get the title. I think it's pretty cool. And the colors of the belt do match his demon paint scheme, so that's pretty cool. I was thinking Finn was going to win here, but I really thought we'd see the club show up and we'd have the reunion. But we did get a little bit of a backstage segment earlier with Gallows, Anderson, AJ Styles, reminiscing, and Finn Balor walks by wearing the Balor Club shirt, and they're like, hey man, like, too sweet me. And he just sort of looks at him, shakes his head, and walks away. So that was a cool sort of segue, and touching on that without going too far in depth. So they've opened the door that they have history, they just have not walked through it yet. From there, we're supposed to have Rusev take on Reigns. As Rusev comes out first, as soon as Reigns gets in the ring, Rusev attacks him, and they brawl for about 10 minutes, just literally kicking the living hell out of each other. The bell never rings because they never started the match. It's deemed that Rusev will not be able to compete tonight, therefore the match is not going to happen, at which point Roman Reigns charges back down the entrance ramp and hits that killer spear. That entrance ramp spear spot is probably the most amazing thing Reigns does. He always hits that spot to perfection. And then we get our main event. We have Lesnar taking on Orton. This was not the match I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be Orton gets pounded on repeatedly, looking for that opportunity to hit the RKO. If he hits the RKO, he wins. We have a plethora of suplexes from Lesnar. Starts off with his shoulder blocks in the corner, just pounding him. And gets like Orton trying to fight out of it. They fight to the outside. He puts Orton through over one announce table, and then basically comes back and puts him through it from the backside. They brawl some more, get back. Orton actually hits the RKO on the outside on the table. The table doesn't break. He gets back in the ring, hits the Hangman's DDT, not enough to pin Lesnar at that point. He does follow it up with an RKO, and Lesnar kicks out. We've built the RKO as what was going to be the Monster Destroyer for the past several weeks, and to have it not be at this point was a bit disappointing. At that point, Lesnar literally just beats Orton to a bloody pulp. Basically, just starts sitting on him and gets fists to the face, elbows to the face, and eventually Orton lifts his head up. You can just see he's a crimson mask at that point. There's a pool of blood in the ring from his bleeding. Looks like the doctors come out there trying to sort of staunch the bleeding, trying to clean him up a little bit. Doesn't happen. Lesnar picks him up, continues pounding on him. Refs take him off. Lather, rinse, repeat. Eventually they get called for the bell. Lesnar gets the win by a TKO. I'm not sure when the last time we saw a TKO in wrestling was. I've seen KOs, I've seen submissions, but TKOs I'm not familiar with. If I'm wrong, give me an example. Leave that down in the comments down below. And that wraps up the... and after post-match, Shane McMahon gets in there and tries to check on his dude, being Randy Orton, but Lesnar basically stands in front of him, sort of laughs. Shane tries to go around him. Orton shifts left, shifts right, tries to block his way. Eventually, Lesnar gets fed up and gets F5s him. At which point, Paul Heyman loses his shit, which is amazing. You have Heyman with the "Oh my God, what did you do?" moment, very much like when Lesnar broke the streak. Same level of shock and awe, so that was amazing. At which point, we have Lesnar leave, and we end the pay-per-view. So that was a really sort of strange pay-per-view. There's a bunch of things that I'm not sure about, like, was the Lesnar-Orton match supposed to end then? Did that end early due to Orton bleeding profusely and they couldn't fix it? There is a plethora of confusion over why Sasha Banks lost. If you look around on Twitter, there's 3 or 4 different conflicting theories. We'll see what nets out in the end. But overall, I call it an enjoyable show. The people I wanted to win might not have won all the right matches, but overall, I still call it a good, enjoyable show. So that wraps up this review. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments down below. Please like, please subscribe, please share on social media using the hashtag. It's right there, like the WWE does, so you know how this works. Also, you can find me on Facebook and Twitter. Those links are down below in the description. I think I'm entertaining. Hopefully if you're watching this video, you do too. And we'll see you next time.